It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America and around the planet, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Well, I went to sleep last night, the nap I can, that was out there. Well, will Biden pardon Hunter? By the time I woke up, Biden had pardoned Hunter, not just for the crimes that he was found guilty of and admitted guilt to, pleaded guilty to the tax charges and found guilty on the gun charges, but everything for a 10-year period from December 1st or January 1st of 2014 to December 1st of 2024. Why? We all know why.
Yeah.
In order to keep, him from being prosecuted for anything that was done with the influence peddling of the Biden family. I would expect that there would be more. I would think that his brother Jim, for example, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw that come up. Other family members just get blanket pardons, even though they've been charged with nothing. And I can see a bunch of blanket pardons going out from this president. I will say this. I mean, I've seen Democrat support for it. Good God, on CNN, they were like, it's because he loves his son.
It's the love of a father at work here.
Father loves his son. He loves him so much. Now, it's interesting because, look, nobody needs to be upset about this because you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was going to happen. He was going to protect the Biden family. The biggest thing, look, I will say this. You have Democrats out there that are saying it's a good idea, as I mentioned on CNN. Nate Silver, for example, not happy, and other Democrats saying the same thing. The White House consistently lied about this. This is from Nate Silver, he's not a pollster anymore. Biden's stubborn insistence on running for re-election was perhaps the singular most important factor in Trump 2.0, and now he's kicking salt in the wound of the party brand that he helped to destroy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing that more because here's the thing. Democrats, unless you're insane like Keith Olbermann, you look at it, you don't care about Hunter anymore.
No.
You don't care about Joe anymore.
No.
You see the two things that I thought were the worst things for the Democratic Party this weekend. Wasn't even the Democrat Party going back and forth. It was Biden holding the pro-Hamas book in his hand so the media could see it. And this.
Yeah.
Because what it shows is you had a president that wishes to keep not just the rot that exists in government, but the corruption rot that exists in government. The rot we talk about is like the weaponization of government, whatever. But so I've seen it where Democrats have supported, where Democrats have said, he's destroying our party. He just keeps going along. He keeps wanting to destroy our party. Well, that's what happens when you threaten him. If he doesn't get out, you will, because that was the talk of the town. Also, we'll get to one of those audio cuts coming up here in a little bit from the one donor out there who's been very, very vocal and asking, why did all these people get rich off donor money and we lost? And consultants, things like that, got rich off of this campaign. And, where the hell's the Democratic Party? You saw so much of that this weekend, but Biden himself, you look at Biden, since they said, hey, you got to get out. Well, he's done everything he possibly can to attempt to destroy Kamala Harris and her reelection, and now he's continuing to do it. Basically, giving the middle finger to Jews by raising that book.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, you bunch of suckers, you Jewish people who voted for me, you deserve what you get. You're a bunch of suckers. I'm pro-Hamas. I don't give a damn about you.
No.
That's the message that was sent.
And he never has.
No, he never has.
And it is I don't know. I guess if there are people that weren't paying attention or just wanted to deny it, there's no way to deny who Joe Biden is now.
Yeah.
This is what we've always known, who he is to his core. And then a scorned Joe Biden, someone who was scorned by his own party, all bets are off.
And then how it's not just what he does, it's how he does it.
Yeah.
Because giving the blanket pardon, again, goes right back to the influence peddling in his family.
Yeah.
It's like, well, wait a minute, he didn't say I'm going to commute the sentence. Because he could have waited until after he was sentenced and said, I commute the sentence. Or a minute after it was done, I commute the sentence.
Yeah.
It's done. No. He said, I'm giving him a blanket pardon for everything. Things he hasn't even been charged with yet. And I expect more to happen. And he did it. The reason is because his Department of Justice is corrupt against his son.
Yep.
They went after his son. Merrick Garland went after his son. So the Department of Justice is corrupt. Well, now you got you got the Trump administration coming in going, the Biden Department of Justice is corrupt.
Yeah.
Well, they both agree now.
Yeah.
And the other thing, that's what you saw with Democrats screaming, going, well, you just gave him now anything he does for anybody involved in J6 is nothing because they're all individual cases and nobody will ever know who it is. He's just pardoned them all. You pardon somebody who has pleaded guilty to tax evasion.
Yep.
And found guilty of gun crimes.
Yep.
The things that Democrats claim they care about. I mean, he's just destroying everything as he goes along.
Well, no, he's burned the place down. And, have the big explosion in the background as you're walking away. Look, there is no loyalty between Biden and his own party. There's no loyalty there never has been any loyalty to begin with. It wasn't there. But then when Nancy had to tap him on the shoulder and tell him to get out, well, then it was full on. I said it, and I still believe this, and maybe we'll never see proof of it, but you'll never convince me of anything else than the following when it comes to him resigning, or not resigning, but stepping out of the race in that letter, and his endorsement of Kamala Harris in that letter as well. They wanted an open primary. They wanted a short primary. I can't tell you what that would have looked like, but I can tell you that Joe Biden threw his party under the bus. Oh, I'll get out, but I'm endorsing her, and I'm going to dare you not to. And it's going to look natural that I do it because she's my Veep. This guy is scorned to the bone, and he doesn't care who suffers as a result of it. He didn't care about American people. He didn't care about American lives in Afghanistan. He doesn't care about the American people when it comes to the open border and all the fentanyl and the fact that the cartels now control the border, clearly control all of the border. And he doesn't care about the economy.
Doesn't care about anti-Semitism.
Doesn't care about anti-Semitism. None of it. Of course he was going to Hunter Biden, and he was going to do a blanket. Man, now Hunter's can actually be the first one to do a true tell-all book.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right? At least for a certain period. Okay.
That would actually sell. I'm going to tell the truth about what my family did.
Here's what I did.
I've got complete immunity.
I'm not saying the guy deserved it, but here's what I did to him. I mean, it would.
That would be the. I'm getting paid a lot more for this book than I ever did for my art.
Right, and
even conservatives are buying it to find out what really happened.
And I always cut in line at Disneyland. I mean, it's try and stop me.
Did you see the picture of him walking?
Yeah,
the one that said he's been sober for 4 years.
Yeah.
He's walking. It's like, oh boy,
yeah.
It almost looked like the Harris video from the other day.
Yeah, What was that about? Wow. Seriously. I mean, have any smoke alarms gone off?
That was the Two-Faced Seinfeld episode. The lighting was horrible. The lighting was
This is why I think it was like she just looked around and said, "Anybody got a camera?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Just use a flashlight as a spotlight. Come on, we'll just get it done. Come on, we'll just knock this thing out."
And
it was weird. And the tone.
Yeah. You just sat back and you said, "You're just showing everybody what was wrong in your campaign.
Don't let anybody control you. You can't control." It's like, what is wrong with her? What happened? What happened? What are we about to learn? I mean, I really thought there was going to be some kind of big announcement after that happened. I was just waiting, going, okay, any second, second.
But what she said is, if you're sitting at a bar and somebody has had too much to drink, that's how they talk.
No, that's exactly how they talk. That's the first thing I thought. It's like, you know what?
I've been in that conversation with somebody at a bar, and it wasn't me doing the drunk talk.
Listen to all you people, all you voters, you too, Taylor Swift. I got something. I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it. Shut up. Just shut up. I mean, she looked gone, lost. I mean,
I know. I've never.
The first time I watched it,
I thought it was AI.
Well,
I did.
I was wondering, because I thought to myself, the one tell with the AI is the mouth. They still, for some reason, on the animation, haven't gotten that down yet. But I'm watching the eyes and the mouth. But then beyond that, I'm waiting for something. And then it was over, and I was like, okay, wait for the reaction. Then about an hour after that, it was like, nope. Everybody was like, hey, did anybody else just see this? We couldn't believe it. And then for a day or two later, I was just waiting for an announcement. Something. I didn't know what. It was just so weird to have it lobbed out there the way it was. It was bizarre. But you know what? When you put it into context, of course that was going to happen. You know, that wasn't her concession speech the day after the election. That was her basically going back again. Anybody got a camera? I got something else to say. You know what? And another thing, people. And it was weird. The tone. I couldn't tell if she was going to start crying or start screaming.
When it first came out, you saw people were posting saying, "Is this real?"
No, we were all looking around. Everybody was going,
"Yeah,
what? What did anybody? Is anybody else watching this?
It was
like almost like it was a dream.
It was so bad. You had to say, look, after everything the Democratic Party has been through and she's been through, there's no way anybody would possibly allow that to come out.
Because there's no purpose for it.
There was no purpose for it. It didn't make any sense. It was just like, why?
No, because that's why I was waiting for something else. I was like, what are they about to announce something? What would be? Why would this happen? Why would somebody put it out there?
Well, since it came out around Thanksgiving, to me, it was the Steve Martin point, the quote from Steve Martin from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
Have a point.
Yeah.
There was no point to
it. And it was totally aimless.
Yeah.
And wandering. Like a person who's had too much to drink.
Did any of the white dudes for Harris understand it? Did they figure it out? I just wonder.
And, you know, it's such a diverse crowd. Oh, look at all the different shades of white. They actually said that. Look at all the shades of white. What?
I wonder why they lost.
Do you know how white you sound when you say that? You know how liberal you sound? Wow. Yeah, what a weird Thanksgiving break it was.
I know. 866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by Howes Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Just 4 weeks ago, many producers were very worried that the ongoing drought was going to continue. USDA had surveyed topsoils across the country and reported 73% of them were short to very short of moisture, a 10-year high.
Now that number, topsoil moisture, very short to short, has dropped to 35%.
Now, when USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey told me that, I thought he had misspoken, so I had him repeat it to make sure.
35%.
That's what he said, 35%.
That is down 6 points from last week, and as I mentioned, down 38 points from the peak 4 weeks ago.
Now, we don't want to mislead you here.
There are still a few dry pockets,
mainly in the northern Great Plains and along the central Appalachians into the northeast. But overall, Rippey says the nation's topsoils are in much better shape than anyone had expected. Gary Crawford reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. So, you want to hear this was on MSNBC, okay?
All right.
And this was liberal Joe Walsh, never Trumper, claims he's former Republican congressperson, but he's a Democrat, full-on liberal. Ready for this?
All right.
Here we go.
Walsh, welcome, Congressman Walsh. What do you make of all of this? What is likely to be the response on Capitol Hill to this breaking news?
Good to be with you. See, I told you so. They're all like that. So the next time any of us complain about anything Trump does, this pardon is just deflating. For those of us who have been out there for a few years now yelling about what a unique threat Donald Trump is, for Joe Biden to do something like this, Trump, nobody's above the law, we've been screaming. Well, Joe Biden just made clear his son Hunter is above the law. Donald Trump lies every time he opens his mouth, we've been screaming. Joe Biden repeatedly lied about this. The politicization of the justice system, Donald Trump and his people have been screaming. Well, that's exactly what Biden said here.
Joe, is this a politics of purity? I mean, we had Donald Trump pardon Sheriff Joe Arpaio during his term, and there wasn't a lot of hue and cry about that. I mean, this is a father who saw his first wife killed, his daughter killed in a car crash, his two young sons survive. One goes on to have real difficulties with addiction. Another dies because of cancer. This is a family that's really troubled. I mean, yes, he said he wasn't going to do this, but did anyone ever believe that that was the case? I mean, I would have put good money on this happening. Like, are many people going to be surprised that a father who is also the president would do this for his son?
I don't know that people will be surprised because you're right. Joe Biden repeatedly said he wouldn't do this. So he repeatedly lied. But this just furthers the cynicism that people have about politics. And that cynicism strengthens Trump.
Yep. What are they forgetting completely? This is because of his family. No, it's because of the influence peddling.
Well, no, I mean...
That's why he did it.
You could say it's because of his family, because his family is engaged heavily in influence peddling.
Right. For 10 years. Right, exactly.
To that extent, he loves his family. He loves enriching his family.
Right. They didn't touch on that during this.
No, they didn't, oddly enough.
Because that's the only thing that it's about.
Yep.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Download our Red Eye Radio app today and listen when and where you choose. I'm just chuckling still after listening to Never Trumper Joe Walsh on MSNBC yesterday. It's exactly what we said at the beginning of the show. I said, he's helped to destroy what the Democrats had falsely attempted to build up, that Joe Biden was this person of character. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was just, and I just love how MSNBC, the only thing their anchors have is they're back to Joe Biden. He's led such a tough life.
Yeah.
There's been tragedies in his family, and he simply loves his son.
Yeah.
That's why he did it. Well, then he could have just, said, okay, for these crimes here that you were convicted of and that you were convicted of. Because he pleaded guilty to one and was found guilty in the other.
Right.
Okay, I'll commute those sentences. He didn't do that. He said for a 10-year span, which included all of Burisma, the big influence peddling that rewarded the Biden family with tens of millions of dollars. He said, nope, blanket for anything that might, ever come out about this.
Right.
And so they're just like, and the reason I'm doing this is because the Justice Department is corrupt and going after my son. My Justice Department is corrupt, which is exactly, a couple of days after. And this is why you wonder the timing. Kash Patel, we can't have this guy in the FBI. Pam Bondi, we can't have this. They want to tear down these institutions. They're saying the Department of Justice is corrupt. Biden comes out a couple days later. The Department of Justice is corrupt. They went after my son.
Yeah.
And that's what Joe Walsh is saying. He's making Trump's point. It's like, wow.
Well, I mean, it's been a gift on so many levels, and including a gift to those of us here at Red Eye as we looked to make our triumphant return from our Thanksgiving break. And just a few hours before, all of a sudden it starts breaking. It's like, well, all right. It was, but it's for the incoming Trump administration on so many levels. Honestly, any confirmation hearing, anything by Democrats, all they have to do is go, yeah, but wait, look over there. Look at what Biden did. Look what Biden said about the Department of Justice.
Right.
Look, the one thing that wait a minute. And then you couple with that the fact that Jill Biden wore red on Election Day. That's not a mistake. And then the whole welcome back moment when they had the meeting at the White House with Trump. And this thing just looks and smells. It's a gift to Trump that the Department of Justice is filled with rot that goes after people politically.
Right.
Biden was not forced to write that.
Both on the right and left.
Right.
And so we have to change the entire structure of the Department of Justice.
Right.
Because it's not just one side. It is.
Right.
That's not the point.
Right.
This is the politics you're playing with. Everyone knows the Department of Justice did everything they could to protect Hunter Biden until they got embarrassed and couldn't do it any longer.
Right.
After the IRS whistleblowers came out. That's why. But it doesn't matter what the reality is. It's the politics of it. And that's what Joe Walsh and other Democrats recognize, that, oh, my God, this you just made it so Kash Patel now is how can we go after him and saying you're trying to redo the Department of Justice and the FBI?
Right.
Yeah. And Biden agrees with us.
Yep. I mean, the whole Pam Bondi hearing.
I know.
Just carve out 15 minutes. That's all we'll need. It's going to be a walk because there is no way to debate that. There is no way to debate that fact. By the way, it is cemented in history as an official act by Biden.
Yeah.
It's not like he just made this, later made this comment in passing by the media, well, it was politically driven. Everybody knows that and blah, blah. No. It was part of the statement that went along with the pardon.
But whether it's Joe Walsh, any Never Trumper, or any Democrat out there trying to make the case, well, we don't care whether it's about family, it's just wrong for him to do. And there seems surprise that he lied, as if it's shocking. What are you talking about? He said the border was secure.
Yeah.
He said the generals told him to get out of Afghanistan. They did, and he lied. He's a pathological liar. We all know it. Every Democrat knows it.
Yep.
And so to be surprised, like, oh, he lied, and then MSNBC anchors, but it was to protect his son. But he lied over and over and over again. He lied. He didn't have to lie. Of course he had to lie. This is where they're disingenuous. This is where Joe Walsh is disingenuous.
Right.
Because we all know why he lied. He's going to try to protect his family from being prosecuted in any way, shape, or form for the biggest influence peddling scheme ever devised in the executive branch.
Yep.
Started as a senator and then went all the way through his entire vice presidency, attempting to enrich his family through his position in government, and his son was the point man. That's why. And if you leave that out completely and pretend that doesn't exist, well, then I can understand why you are pretending to be confused and or outraged by it.
Look, using his power to get influence and money for his family, and then using his power to pardon them for doing it on his way out the door.
Right. And you're shocked? You think the line is the worst part of it?
It's like, after a boxing fight, well, he hit me with the right. I didn't expect him to hit me with his left hand. He already hit me with his right. He already hit me once. Why'd he hit me twice?
And so they sit there and act confused. They're angry but confused. Why would he do this?
Yeah.
This is where you look at it, the Never Trumpers out there like Joe Walsh. This is where you look at it and you say, no, you never were even a moderate conservative.
No.
You're a Democrat because in order to ignore that, because you can't ignore that, and that's what they've been doing.
Right.
First off, the MSNBC anchors, the whole thing of, he just loves his son.
Yeah.
He's a poor old man who loved his son. And then these other people getting furious going, what are you talking about? He lied. Well, why did he lie? Why are you upset that he lied?
Right.
If you understand everything that happened, we weren't surprised. In fact, we said, all right, it's a slam dunk. Hunter just pleaded guilty to evading income tax.
Yeah.
He's going to be pardoned.
Right.
It's like,
again,
why the hell should I go through this entire trial and all this stuff come up? I'll just plead guilty. Dad'll pardon me. None of the dirty stuff comes out in court.
Seriously.
Duh.
He's primed to write possibly the best-selling tell-all book of all time, Hunter Biden. At least for those 10 years. He could go to a publisher and say, my advance is going to be $25 million.
Intro by Bob Ulinsky.
Exactly.
Hey, can you cut me in on part of this?
Hey, apologies to all the whistleblowers and everything else. They were all right. Everybody was correct. And, yeah, that was my laptop. And it's not the only laptop. There's 3 more out there. Go find them. It could be.
Yeah, but
it could be anything.
Well, I think it's important to say because people have always compared, Trump, Hunter. No. There's a difference between anything else. Yeah. The witness against Hunter Biden was Hunter Biden.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people even realize that. Well, the laptop was his. So much of what he did and the crimes he committed were documented in the laptop.
Yep. His own words.
His own
we
words.
We know things about Hunter Biden because of Hunter Biden.
Right. There weren't like other, I mean, there might have been other witnesses, but he was the main witness.
He was the main witness.
Yeah.
And then you look at the cases against Trump. Oh, please. Alvin Bragg, 34 counts of what? Letitia James. I'm sorry. Negotiating is a crime? Even when they put on there, this may not be accurate, it's a crime? By the way, that means disclaimers in New York would no longer work. There are no disclaimers you could write to be safe under a Letitia James society. But all these things where there was zero evidence on Trump and all the evidence that Hunter Biden brought against himself. It's very clear. Very clear. And now, wander off into the sunset. Go sit on the beach, Jack. Okay, but think about this too. It's early in the pardoning game for an outgoing president. It's very early.
Well, it's also real early for the incoming president.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it easier for him to pardon whoever he wants.
Oh, yeah.
Democrats are going to be furious about that, but it's like, sorry.
Oh, I could see a whole list. And he wouldn't have to wait till December of his final year.
No, I think you'll see a lot of the J6ers,
He alluded to that.
In the first week, yeah.
He alluded to that.
You just opened
the door.
Yep. And the other thing you've opened the door is that him testifying before Congress, he can't give the fifth.
Right.
So, and he can't lie because you can only because the pardon is. Can you imagine if he comes out and he says that my son is pardoned for any future crimes? Can't pardon him for a future crime.
No.
So he has to tell the truth under oath.
Right. Yeah. Next, if he lies to Congress, then that would be a separate crime.
Which is getting the information out, if you
Right.
could get it first person, would be extremely important for history and for the knowledge of the American public to know what happened.
Yeah, sure.
We already know what happened.
Right.
But have it come out of his mouth.
Right. And then at the end of the testimony, listen, it's all in the book. If you just pick up the book now at Amazon.com. I'm serious.
He'll be standing across from the Capitol. Remember last time?
Right.
Standing across
Exactly.
with a small book stand selling the book.
Selling the book.
Find out what I'm going to say, what I'm going to testify about before I testify.
Right. And every comment that he makes on Capitol Hill. Listen, it's all in the book. And we explain. I don't want to give the book away. Sorry, Congressman. I don't want to give the book away. Wow.
He gets like a $50 million up front for the book. Wow, this is more than I made on influence peddling.
That's what I'm thinking. It could be huge. I mean, if he wanted to, why not? His dad doesn't care about legacy. Why should he?
866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. We'll get to it this week. I mean, it was the pardon that really changed the direction of a lot of the stuff of where we're going to go. One of the things is the number of the one fundraiser who's out there for the Democrats, and just saying no, I know for a fact because I talked to him that Obama didn't want Harris. Pelosi didn't want Harris.
Yeah,
nobody wanted Harris out there.
And she's not viable. And, she's not going to be it in 28.
And talking about so many of the consultants and the people involved that got rich, that she said became millionaires
Right.
because of all this money the campaign had,
Right.
and it was a failure and not effective. And how do these people become millionaires? That's from the financial part of it. You saw that George Clooney is furious with Obama for using him as a patsy for Kamala's defeat. I mean, the circular firing squad. You had Tim Ryan out there again talking about identity politics and how everything is wrong. James Carville is losing it.
Yeah.
Remember, a lot of these people that are saying it, Carville, for example, said, no, she's going to win by a landslide.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't credible there at all, were you?
Nope.
But you can it's falling to pieces right now. And there's no consensus. How do you come to a consensus at a party that just wishes to divide?
Right.
Between
no
victims and oppressors? How do you do it?
Right.
We've always stated that's their problem.
Right.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.